Hi, Julie. Thank you so much for giving us a testimonial. I just want to give you a background. So I did a autoimmune virtual retreat last week, and you were part of some version of this back in March, I believe, and that's when you signed up. But I want you to kind of share your testimony in how this program is different. Because like you said, the reason you signed up for this program is because one, I think you really resonated with my message. And I know you come from a very, very vast background in holistic medicine, integrative medicine, energy medicine, supplements, diet, functional medicine. You've done it all. But they
Yes.
all only marginally helped you. And you knew that if you weren't getting right from the inside, you were going to be repeating the patterns. And so as long as you don't change on the inside, nothing you do superficially will heal you on the inside. So knowing that, tell me sort of your experience in the program thus far and what you've gained.
Well, my experience is, well, as you mentioned, I did try everything. And in trying everything, I always sabotaged it. I always went back. Like I would do a diet, a healthy I've been doing elimination diets. I've been doing all these things. And then I would feel good for a little while with all the supplements and vitamins. And then all of a sudden I would just sabotage it and go right back to my old ways. But then there was always something missing. There was always, I never changed from the inside. I still had the low self-esteem. I still didn't have the confidence. I think and I never felt good. I always felt sick. Like I compare myself, there's no energy. I always felt not good.
Yeah.
I don't even think, I really don't even feel like I was just walking zombie for years.
I just want to say, because now I've gotten to know you a bit, and I just want to make sure that people understand that it's not that you weren't trying to get better, but I think there was a lot of circumstances in your life that took precedence over your own well-being, and you let the people in your life or the circumstances and the relationships come before you, and your patterns were always self-betrayal and pleasing everybody else while your health was declining. And that became the pattern over and over again. And that's the perpetuator. And then when you recognize that through our time together, I know things are shifting. Do you agree?
Yes. Like I realized the thing that got me with wanting to sign up for you, even though for me it was a very big step and I agonized over it because I've tried so many things. I spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in the past. And I knew I couldn't even, I know it sounds terrible, I couldn't even tell my husband because he would just go, oh, another one, just another one that she's going to spend all this money on and not follow through. But this resonated different. It was like it touched something deep inside me. And it's true, it has, because even like I was changing without telling anybody in the family about any of this. And they started to say like, wow, how come you're sticking to this? You've never stuck to anything before. And I like people were noticing things about me, but I didn't tell them at first, why I was changing. But it's because you do the whole body approach, like the mind body connection. You make us reflect on our inside of who we are and where we come from and where we can go. And I mean, I'm still a work in progress. And another thing is you're there for us every minute. Like, I mean, this isn't just, it's therapy, it's a doctor, it's everything. Like you're the whole package. That's what I find so amazing. And I could call you up, even though sometimes I felt like I shouldn't, I don't want to bother them. But you right away said, no, that's what we're here for. Like and there's, you have a team that's always there for us. Your yoga is amazing. It's not just one little thing that's going to help. It's a big holistic approach.
Yeah. So I just want to say, Julie, if you were to say something about yourself, are you getting to that point where you really now are very aware of your old patterns? Because before the recording began, you started to talk about how before you would spin away and self-sabotage and saying, there you go again, reprimanding yourself and all the sabotaging negative talk. And now you catch it and you're a lot more aware of it. And you said, these were Julie's words, you said you're fighting against the old patterns. And that
Yes.
in itself is changing. And I want you to comment on that.
Well, basically, yes, I actually see it. Like before, I would just, I guess I would wallow in my own self-pity. And then I would just go, oh, you, Julie, you're just, like, I guess subconsciously, I was just putting myself down. And then I would get so caught up in life and everything. And I would just, and again, then my health would fail again. And it was almost like I've almost had to go to like when the fibromyalgia hit, every time when I went to the real sickness, then I would like, oh, Julie, you got to do something again, get back on the diet, get back on the vitamins. But I never really connected that it's more than diet and vitamins. Like I didn't really, now I know it's my thoughts, and even though I honestly did lots of cognitive behavioral therapy too, but I couldn't connect it. I couldn't get it in my head how to do it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've tried it all.
Well, and then you also talked about, because one of the biggest hurdle or the little bit of a struggle that you had is your relationships with, especially your husband. And you had started to say, as you began to change and now you're seeing changes in those around you, can you kind of elaborate on the changes that your husband is making without you nagging on him?
Well, the funniest thing is a while back in one of your presentations, you mentioned that people, when you change and become who you're supposed to be, that other people around you will change. Otherwise, they won't be there. They won't be really, maybe they shouldn't be with you, right? Or something like that. And then I remember, and all of a sudden, my husband said to me one day, this is the first time I've ever seen you stick with anything. And actually, like he said, he would say, I'm in awe of you. I don't even know this, Julie. And at one point, I had to really be firm about my needs and my wants. And I even got to the point where it didn't matter to me anymore what he did. Like I really didn't care, which I couldn't believe. And for some reason, it hit him so hard that a man that never said he would ever go to therapy, and he's going to therapy. He's bringing me mindfulness information and things that I mean. This doctor that the whole mind body connection, he's bringing it up to me and he's saying, why don't you read this or listen to this with me? And I'm like, who are you? And I can see there's a shift in our relationship. And this has only been a few months where I was ready to, honestly, I was ready to pack it in and be alone. And even though I didn't want to do that. I really didn't want to do that, but I thought I had to, but
So going back to where you were a couple of months ago, I know that there's a lot of people on the fence about the investment. They don't really know who I am, what this program entails. Do you remember the questions and the doubts that you had? You got on a discovery call. You decided you're going to do it. You're sticking with the program. You're so glad you did.
Yes.
Any parting words for those who might be on the fence?
You know what? I have to admit that I was convinced right from in the 7-day thing that this is something I need to do. I already knew that I wanted to do it and needed to do it. But then when the cost came up, and I'm in Canada, so it's US dollars is a lot different than our money right now. And I thought, oh, I can't do this. I just can't. I'm just going to blow all the money again. I didn't even have confidence in myself. And then all of a sudden I thought, well, we talked more, and then I realized, wait a minute, I am worth it. Like the commercial goes, I'm worth it. And I had some money that I put aside, from my mom. And I said, this is what I need to do. And I'm not sorry one bit. This is one of the best investments I've ever done.
Yeah.
I wish I would have done. I wish I would have done it 20 years or 30 years ago.
But you know what, Julie, you said it best. It was an investment. You looked at it differently, right? Yeah. Because my question to you was, where would you be, Julie, a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, if you don't do the very thing you ought to do, right? It's not even ought, but I think it was the inner knowing, and you were just convinced. And it was that you listened to your heart, right?
Yes, I did. And I also listened to I have to say I listened to my logic, because I honestly felt that if I didn't do something soon, that I wasn't going to be around very much longer. Like I was already thinking on those terms that the way my health is going and the way my body's deteriorating and my mind and I really thought I wasn't going to be around very long. I was even thinking I have to get my will changed. But even though I didn't have any diagnosis saying I'm dying, I just felt like it. Inside, I felt like I only had a few more years left if I kept on this path.
And
that's
how
what
do you feel now about your outlook in life?
Oh, I feel like I have, 25, 30 more years probably. And I actually am feeling that I can have happiness, which I don't think I ever really thought I was ever going to have happiness. I mean, I'm still working on it. I'm not right there, but that happiness is a journey. It's not like a thing you just have every, and I understand like the things you've taught me about that we have to have the yin and the yang, the good and the bad. It's very fresh. The whole thing is self-reflective. And I just wish I knew this years ago, but now I do know, and I'm working on it.
Yeah. So just to kind of recap everything, this program is not whole in wall. It's very integrative. It's putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's the dietary component. It's the testing. I'm the liaison between your medical center or medical care and your holistic care. We do work on the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, the modernized functional medicine piece, and of course, the timeless wisdom. And then we evolve and grow, and circle of life continues so that you can keep healing and you have all the tools to heal. Is it safe to say now you live in hope of getting better?
Oh, definitely. Well, I already feel it.
Yeah.
My pain is reduced, astronomically, my pain is reduced. I have more energy than I've ever had I don't even remember when. Yes, I already see changes. Like I know I have slipped a bit sometimes, but then this time I say, okay, that's it. Get right back on track. Whereas before I would just give it all up.
Yeah, because transformation is a journey. And now you understand why it's a year long as opposed to just a month or 3 months, because then we'll always be left spinning the wheels, right?
And that's another plus. The whole year long thing, boy, I'm almost worried that I don't want the year to end.
Well, I just want to tell you, you've been amazing. And I learned so much from you, so much about you. And you're just a beam of light. And we all love you in the group. As you know, you're fully supported. And I just want to tell you, Julie, thank you so much for taking the time to share your experience with the rest of them, because we have over 2,500 people that signed up for this go around. And they're from all over the world. Yeah. So hopefully they'll be convinced. So thank you, Julie. Sure. And I will see you at 4 o'clock for the yoga, right?
So yeah. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.